Good morning, everyone. I think that was a fantastic panel discussion that we just had. And we were talking futuristic. I want to take you back in time to begin with, to the 15th century. A German craftsman, Gutenberg, invented the printing press. And this was a very profound invention because it kick-started the entire information revolution, where for the first time in mass scale, books could be printed and knowledge could be disseminated across the globe. So prior to this, books were written by hand, and hence they couldn't be in a rapid mass scale sent across the globe, right? So this is a very, very significant moment in the history and a very influential human in our timeline. Now, fast forward now, we are in the age of ChatGPT, Google. So literally, in less than a fraction of a second, you can access 120 zettabytes of data, right? That's so much data that we have at the tip of our finger. And using ChatGPT, Google, we are able to extract intelligence of relevant information immediately with us, right? So this is a very, very, very incredible time in history. We are in an intersection of data and more data, and extreme compute power and more compute power, right? And this is what has helped ChatGPT to be launched. We had a lot of data maybe even 5 years ago. Data lakes, data warehouses, data lake houses. But we didn't have compute power, which was affordable, right? And now we have reached that point where both of these have intersected, and we are able to immediately harness intelligence out of it. That said, what is the reality on the ground? So we work with a lot of our customers in the manufacturing space, in asset-heavy industries, in data-intensive industries. And we find that though they have the best-breed software in IT, they have the SAPs of the world, they have the Oracles, they have the best ERP systems, they have the best historian systems, they have SharePoints, they have all the engineering technology systems, drone images, and whatnot. So there is absolutely a lot of data available. But when it's time to access this, to retrieve this, it takes a lot of time. And that's the theme of our entire day today. How do we ensure that we converge IT and OT, and we are able to grab that intelligence from both these systems, like Sai said, immediately, right? So that's the entire journey, and we'll talk more about it now on, what are the technologies available, like Cognite, which can help you converge and grab intelligence out of this information quickly. And then the other, from an automation perspective, there's still service technicians who are doing their daily rounds across the shop floor, looking for, defects, taking photographs, trying to, take their checklist there and do their preventive maintenance and other maintenance schedules. Probably that's also not a great use of time with all the robos, cobos, and sensors that we have in the world today, right? So clearly we see a significant divide in the enterprises, the haves and the have-nots, the companies that have a digital strategy, and the companies that do not have. And the companies that will persist are the ones that have a strong digital strategy, a strategy that will easily converge IT, OT, and engineering technology systems, and are able to, in fraction of seconds, have that simple access to this complex, diverse data. So this is clearly a possibility for sure, where you could send, there's a Spot, one of the robos that we leverage from Boston Dynamics, which can actually do the entire crawl across your different assets and plants and lines and grab the images and look for any anomalies in the shop floor that needs to be immediately taken care of, right? And this is something that can be done 24/7. You don't need a human anymore. And robots, with what Tesla is launching now, and the likes of Boston Dynamics, are going to become commodities. They're going to be available at a very, very affordable price, and they're already in many cases, right? Similarly, you don't need a person to go and look at an asset and then grab different manuals to review what needs to be done from a maintenance standpoint. How would it be if they're able to take their iPad or their iPhone, click a photo of the asset, and all the information contextual to that particular asset or the machine is immediately popping in front of them in terms of, this was the last schedule work order that was performed on this asset. This was the temperature. This was the humidity. These are the kind of vibration statistics. And these are the 3 top anomalies that are there which you may want to look into. How would that world look like? And friends, it's not far away. It's a reality already. It is possible already. And we are seeing this today, and we are using this today with Google, right? For example, I come back home, I have some friends, and I want to decide where do I want to have dinner with them. All you have to do is go to Google and type out, restaurants near me. And not only does it give you a list of restaurants, but it is also giving you contextual information to say, this is the top rated restaurant. And at this time, when you go to that restaurant, it is going to be crowded, or it's not a peak time for it. And these are the hours of operation, and there are other activities you could do after dinner, maybe have a nice pan, or have an ice cream after dinner with your friends, and then come back home, and these are the fares, taxi fare for you to come back home. So essentially, what I'm trying to get to is, today we use this in our day-to-day lives. How would it be if we had this kind of a context within your factory floors, within your shop floors, and also all the way up to your management, where at a click of a button, not only do I know what's happening on the shop floor in a particular line, in a particular asset, but I'm able to get all the related information about that particular incident or a machine or that particular asset. So, and that's what Cognite is doing. Of course, there are other companies as well which are trying to solve this problem, but we've been able to successfully solve this for the industry. Wherein, today in the industry, there's a lot of time that is being spent in going between these IT systems, historian systems, OT systems, ET systems to grab data when there is a problem in hand. And the valuable time is wasted. There is also not clear collaboration. And this approach itself is not scalable anymore, right? So the context that we saw with Google for a restaurant is not inherent in the information that we have. And we go through this whole 8 steps today in most companies, which is highly manual. And what we are trying to do there is to actually do the contextualization manually, and a lot of time is wasted there, and the accuracy, of course, is questionable too. So, and an example of all the data that we are dealing with, right? There is asset hierarchy information on the equipment. There's time series data on temperature, pressure, speed of your assets. There's a lot of 3D and 2D and PDF files that we have from a PNID perspective. Visual data, there's a lot of drone images and plant and equipment images that are available today. But all of these are sitting in silos, right? How do we liberate this data from silos so that you can access it simply in a click of the button, right? And to top it all, the data is not consistent. It is not a relational database. It's not that particular asset that you see there, A1233, the tank, right? It's called that physically. whereas in your IT system, it may be called something else. In your PDF files, it may be called something else, right? So there is no easy way for you, even if you were to, sit down and start doing it yourself in your company, your IT teams, there's no easy way to correlate all this data. And that's where Cognite has written these machine learning algorithms, which can crawl through all this different data and create that context intelligently to be able to link all of this data and say they are all related to this particular asset, right? And that's what we do. This is a quick architecture diagram on how we do that in terms of what you see in the start is all the different data sources, your IT, OT, etc. And the next step is the contextualization services within Cognite that is able to now crawl through this data and create these relationships between the different data elements and create what we call as a knowledge graph, which essentially is able to relate unrelated data. Again, an easy example for us to relate to a day-to-day knowledge graph is Netflix or Facebook, right? Or LinkedIn. So it is, you type the name of a person and it's giving you all other people, and a lot of times I'm amazed by the relationship that it's able to pull between different people, which is not, apparent to us, right? So we have done that for the industry, right? And that's our core. And what does that do? So a quick visual of how the whole thing looks in Cognite. What you see on the right side is our canvas. This is an interactive way in which your PDF file that has your PNIDs can be clickable, and you can go to different data elements within the PNID to see what the asset is all about, what is the health of the asset, and where it is right now. So we'll talk more outside in our booth to discuss further, but just wanted to share a glimpse of that. And this is a quick case study of a real customer who was able to reduce, about 6 weeks of work to about 6 hours to quickly root cause, when they saw some fluctuations with a liquid increase in auto. The details are here. Reliability engineer. They were taking about 6 weeks, and we were able to bring it down to 6 hours. This is a real customer in the chemical industry. So with that, thank you very much for your time. It's absolutely required to converge IT and OT. I'm very glad that we have a forum that's discussing it today. Thanks to ProMFG and all of you to be here. And the good news, like I said, data is available, compute power is available, and technology like Cognite is available to make that happen. Again, don't force fit any technology. Start with the business problem and business case, and then figure out what is that technology that can go and enable you. Thank you very much.